Now, number 4. The seed that became Nigeria actually was conceived in 1837 during an all-night prayer vigil. Thomas Fowell Buxton was the man who replaced William Wilberforce, to lead the abolitionist move. And this is what really happened. They were agonizing before God to find a permanent solution to that odious human slavery that was the order of that day. And it was in response to this that the idea of a champion nation called Nigeria was birthed and given from above. And the truth is this: from that date in 1837 up until now, the glorious destiny of Nigeria has been challenged terribly by the kingdom of darkness. And we are not there yet, but we will get there. After number 4, let's just take a break. And I think that at this point, we need to take a breather and let us acknowledge a few of the Christians that God used to pave the way for the civilization that we in Nigeria are enjoying today. Remember Mary Slessor, people like Henry Townsend, Thomas Burt Freeman. Remember Jefferson Bowen? What of Walter Gowans, Roland Bingham, Thomas Kent, the Canadian boys, and the likes of Adolphus Mann? What of what's his name? Anne and Henry, the people who went to Ibadan in 1851. I'm talking about David and Anne Hindra, and that's just to name a few. We need to celebrate these men. Look, Ajayi Crowther was the first African bishop, and his picture was in the frontispiece of that Independence Bible for good reason. Ajayi Crowther was kidnapped in 1821. He was sold by Fulani kidnappers and slavers in 1821. That didn't stop him from coming back after his rescue to serve God and country. And remember that in 1858, not even fearing for his life, he went and attended another parley, a discussion with King Sumozaki and his half-brother Dasaba, a war general. These were ferocious Fulani slavers. And he went and had a meeting with them to win concessions so that there would be peace in Bida. I could go on, but we must also remember cases like that of Joshua Hart, the slave, who refused to eat the food of idols. He was tortured and was battered to death. It was his testimony that won his boss, his owner, and their whole family, the Hart family. Or should I mention the 12-year-old girl, yes, 12, who was buried alive to become the snuff bearer of an Onitsha prince who had died? Or do I want to go on about the hundreds who were sacrificed for the Agemo? If you want to remember Imagbon, the Imagbon War. I can go on and on and on, but look, we need to admit the fact that people pay the price for the civilization that we're enjoying. Elder Dennis, he sacrificed his life. Remember the fellow who translated the Union Igbo Bible. And remember the first grammar school in Igbo land, that's the Dennis Memorial Grammar School in Onitsha, 1925, was named after him. I mean, it is easy today for the Christian in Nigeria, for the citizen of Nigeria. Do we remember what they call Boni Juju? And how Boni Juju was outlawed? It was renounced in 1867. What shall we say? Bishop Togwell, Boggin, Dr. Miller, the team that left Lagos, I think it was the 23rd of January, was it, in the year 1900, headed for Kano? Are we going to say that we can't remember what the experience was like? Are we going to say we want to forget Malam Ibrahim of Kano, who was beheaded by Aliyu, the Emir of Kano, simply because of religious tolerance? Because he had looked into the Quran and he had acknowledged that there was a Malam Isa that the visitors had come to talk about that could be accommodated in terms of religious tolerance. I mean, if we're going to go on and on, these are the people who fought for us to gain us freedom. They're the ones who brought civilization, education, hospitals. What are we talking about? Better agricultural systems and better tools. All the technological advancements and all that. These are the people who paved the way for what we call modern Nigeria that we're enjoying today. Now, I can now confidently say to you that we can go on to the other 3 items, that are from the 4 that I listed earlier. So now let's go to number 5. Number 5 is very easy. The presidential selection of 2023 went to the highest bidder, and without prejudice, Bola Ahmed Tinubu won because he is the master of the game and he is the embodiment of the corruption that is troubling Nigeria. His ambition, once realized, will be the enthronement of corruption officially in an already corrupt nation that is dripping and oozing corruption from every pore. Now, what we need to accept is this, that once gross corruption has been officially enthroned in Nigeria, we're going to have a case where our national anthem, our national pledge, our currency, our national lingo, our constitution, our coat of arms, our national flag, and every of all those things will just be nothing else but corruption personified. And I go on to number 6. Bola Ahmed Tinubu's choice of a vice president is something that has now positioned our nation for us to set up a Boko Haram promoter known, confirmed. A Boko Haram promoter is now going to be just one heartbeat away from the seat of the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm not sure that this is something that this country can afford. Listen, the obvious will not be prevented if we allow this progression to go on. And if that happens, it is going to boost that ruthless, unrelenting, implacable, cunning, patient hydra of terrorism. And I can tell you something, all that will spell will be the end of democratic Nigeria. You see, all our religious freedoms, human rights, they will all be erased completely just because of the inordinate ambition of one man.